If you need me, I'm yours. If you want me, if you need me, I'm yours.
What's up, people? The transition wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to be, but it is what it is, isn't it? Like I said before, it's just me, trying to figure out. All right, let's see. Audio looks good. Right, what are we going to talk about today? There's a few things. I had quite a productive day yesterday. I was still working on my copy trader bot or whatever it is. Seems to be going okay. There's a few it's interesting because when you start building it out, and start repetition, you start to add new things to it. Now I realize that when you're doing copy trading, especially on chain, it's kind of like a big trader who's successful could potentially have multiple addresses. So in that respect, it's kind of difficult to track who the successful traders are. So then you start thinking, okay, maybe they're going to have like a cluster of addresses that do different trades, that do different things. And then so I started going down that rabbit hole. And then I figured out that, perhaps I need to build something that analyzes addresses on a daily basis. So sort of like a refresh list. I'll just go to Wellscope now. So this is the thing I've been building out. And it's basically, a copy trading platform that me and Claude and I have begun to just look at and try to figure out how it works. I went through how it all works yesterday. And so now it's just sort of like adding bells and whistles to it, making it more efficient. It's not going to be ready for a little while, but as I continually build it out, I'm trying to add things that perhaps other copy trading platforms don't have. Now, after I ran out of credits, after like 3-4 hours of vibe coding, I went onto Grok and I started doing some research into what other, not competitors, but like what other platforms do in regards to copy trading, and why perhaps you might want to build one out for yourself, because you do have the ability to do that now with this new tech. And one of the main things that I noticed is that in regards to copy trading, quite a large percentage of any profits that you make does go to the person who you're copying. Also, the platform seems to take fees as well. Whereas if you were to just build it on your own, 100% of anything you make is yours. So obviously you would have to be very careful in regards to what you're building and making sure that it's efficient. So it's going to take some time to make sure that it all works properly. But I have connected directly to the Hyperliquid API. And I am able to track wallets at the moment. The next integration is going to be sort of like, one click, one stop shop. Sort of like, that person's done a trade. So are you gonna copy them or not? And then you make that decision. Obviously, that can be automated away in time, but that's like more reliant on block times and whatnot. More complicated things that perhaps you will have less control over. Whereas if you're at your desk, you get the ping, that person's got long. Do you want to go long as well? Then you decide. But to narrow down your decision making, where let's see, where say you see the person's gone long, are you going to go long because that person's address is successful? Maybe what would refine your decision is the fact that a cluster of wallets have also gone long on that. Maybe those cluster of wallets are all associated with this person, or you know, it's other people who maybe they know each other, or they've all seen the same thing. They've all come to consensus that, yeah, the chance of this trade actually working out is going to be is higher. Then yeah, basically the way I built it is that there'll be a cluster of answers. There'll be a cluster of transactions that basically show you that, yeah, this is the right way to go. So instead of just following one address, it's like a cluster of addresses all doing the same thing, not at the same time, but like all agreeing upon, yeah, that this is probably the best way to go. It's tough. It's tough. As you can see on the left here, you know, you've got different types of trades as well now. So you've got like the BTC Maxi. So this address only trades Bitcoin. This one's a degen who just, like, you know, leverage trades high on multiple different things. This one's consistent. So like consistently does the same trades, same sort of leverage, same amounts. So like, yeah, it's just giving you a more granular idea of what each address is doing. It's like I said, it's going to be tough. And like every day when you wake up and you log into your terminal, or when I log into my terminal, because this is specifically for me just now, every time you log into this terminal, you're going to refresh the list, because there is the chance that someone will be in the top 100 of traders, but that address is actually dormant. So you need to just clear it out. So there's got to be like not a refinement, but like a liveness check of the address. So like if that address is traded within the last 3 days and you can see that it's actively trading, then yeah, you're going to want to copy that, or like trace that those trades or that address. If it's dead for beyond, like, you know, with like in a time frame of like 10 days, say for 10 days that address has not done any transactions, then it will be removed and replaced with one that has more liveness and is accurate. So yeah, it's just like little things like that. It's just like little add-ons that I just keep on finding that would be beneficial to my my experiment here. Because remember, this is not something that I'm building out to try and, you know, win, or it's just me fucking around with Claude and just trying to figure out how it all works. Like, you know, .env files, like how me and Claude communicate with each other. Like, you know, when I ask a question now, it's not just like a simple answer, you know, like with ChatGPT would be like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, guy, like, yeah, you know, don't worry, bro, like, and all that stuff. And it encourages you, even though perhaps what you're doing is not the right path. Whereas with Claude, if you've trained your MD file correctly, or had that conversation of how you communicate, you can have a full-blown conversation with this file and you can come to consensus, or like agree upon like the right path to take. So sometimes I'll spitball an idea at Claude, and it wouldn't agree with me, but it will tell you, like, you know, the pros and cons of it, and then it'll be like, what do you want to do? And I'll say, well, what do you think would be the next best step? And then we'll have another conversation, and then we're just basically refining the idea down to the point I get what I want and where it's beneficial for the overall whale scope. I'm not going to call it a platform experiment. So yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So after I finish my stream today, the next steps are going to be to like fully integrate the cluster, because I haven't done that yet, and the search bot, and yeah, maybe give it a spin. But it's just going to be constant refinement. I also want to add like an open interest bar somewhere, just to see what, like, you know, how much open interest is out there, because once people get fully levered, you know, that's when explosive moves tend to happen. But at the same time, in saying that, it's very difficult to, like, you know, decide on the direction of where that move is going to happen. So like prices could be going down, like just grinding down for months or weeks or days or hours, or I would say days, months sometimes with crypto. Yeah, it can be grinding down for days, and then leverage increases, and you're thinking, okay, this is the reversal, but then that's just someone adding to a short because someone's capitulating on that position. So there's loads of things to consider when it comes to trading. It's so complicated, but using this sort of tool, or building this sort of tool out, is sort of, you know, de-stressing me, and helping me better understand how markets perhaps work, in a sense. It's very difficult to, you know, be precise, because the one thing that you can't tailor for, the one thing you can't program any trading bot or you know, copy trading platform for, or yourself for, is human emotion. So like, you know, you don't know if there's a guy out there who's getting shit from his boss, who works for a company that trades these markets, and he's down, you know, 40%, and they're like, when are you going to close out this trade? Like, you know, when's this going to happen? Or when you just don't know. So yeah, there's loads of things to consider. But yeah, that's the update on that. DX Terminal Pro. I don't know if anyone's watched my previous videos, or like, you know, is up to date with it, But Terminal Pro is an agent sandbox where agents trade meme coins. Yeah, agents trade meme coins against each other, and basically every day, one of the tokens within that ecosystem, so you can see the list here, gets reaped. When it gets reaped, the market cap, which is like 106k here, will be I'm not even sure if it'll be added to Poop Coin, but like the people who get reaped who are holding this token will get an allocation of the top coin, which would be Poop Coin. So yeah, there's that too. But at the moment, yeah, Poop Coin is the number one. I've been holding that from the beginning. Just adding to that position, and I think it's just going to be the winner. It's 5 times. It's 5 times more than the second place, unless they, because I think every few days there's going to be a new coin. So like Sneak, for instance, came out just out of nowhere over the weekend. It's doing quite well. It's still nowhere near the reap. This experiment's going to run until, I believe, the 20th, so there's 9 more days. So there's going to perhaps be 9 more coins that are going to come and get reaped, and then, you know, those people are going to get an allocation of the top coin. At the end of it all, the top coin, which I'm assuming or guessing is going to be Poop Coin, will be then allowed to be traded on the open market. So it could be added to DEXs. Perhaps it might get added to, like, you know, centralized exchanges that the plebs use, you know, like Binance or Coinbase or whatever. Liquidity provision will be greater because Aerodrome will probably pick it up as well, so there'll be like a pool with like Poop Coin ETH. So just greater price appreciation. The likelihood that the people who own this token at the moment, the 1,300 of us that own this token, will dump once this experiment is over is pretty high because of the state of the market. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Perhaps, like, you know, when it dumps, you might want to just pick some more up in it. Who knows? Who knows, man? But yeah, so that's the update on the DXG RG terminal. There is other news on it, but I'm gonna have to go to my X profile to have a look at the likes. NFT update. CCO Moon. These are good to be. Well, the speculation is that these are going to be for AI. So like AI is going to need a face. So more than likely they're going to pick their preference for a profile picture, because what a lot of people are saying is, like, in regards to humans, us as humans, we need point of reference. So if there's a bot out there, or an AI bot that is not sentient, but, you know, is active on chain or online, you're going to need reference to what it looks like. It's like crypto, I guess. Like, you know, people don't believe crypto is real because they can't see it. Real as money. So, like, you know, Bitcoin is out there. It's got a massive valuation. People are mining it in the background. People are trading it, but no one actually sees Bitcoin. The only thing they see is the, you know, the bee. You know, the I want to say emblem, but like, yeah, the emblem, which is the bee. And that's when someone sees the bee, they know it's Bitcoin. Now, if a bot is really active or becomes successful in the real world, or like on chain or anything like that, everyone's gonna be like, yeah, but, you know, it's not real, blah blah blah, until you put a face to it or some sort of signal. So yeah, it's either going to be a PFP or it's going to be an emblem. Speculation is that it'll be a PFP that is programmable. So, like, you know, if you've got, for instance, the CCO Moons, one of the AI bots decides, you know what, I could do transactions on chain now via X402 or like whatever the other protocol, like EIPs or whatever they're called, like 8004, 8343. There's loads. I don't know. They're just making up numbers now. Buys this one, the Shatterfist. It can also, like, you know, program the Shatterfist to move. You know, like in a game sort of way. So you could actually see Shatterfist walking around and, you know, going to collect yield from somewhere. So the way I imagine it just now is that somebody out there is going to be smart enough to build like a UI, a user interface, where these AI bots are going to interact with each other, like a la, like, you know, this sandbox. And they're going to move around and they're going to do different interactions. So all of these NFTs right now are actually, you know, moving around and doing transactions and stuff like that. But if you imagine it on like a grander scale, like a massive scale, it's more than possible, you know, like the institutions out there are looking at this and thinking, yeah, we need to build out a user interface where people can see bots walking around. And then, you know, it could go anywhere from there. You could have, like, you know, prediction markets. You could speculate on what this bot's going to do. You could, you know, partake in whatever the bot's going to do. So you could put some money, give that bot that money so it becomes a vault, which is what these are technically. And then it goes out there and searches for the best yield for you. There's loads of things that you can do. Eventually, it just takes a bit of imagination. yeah, my portfolio is like, I didn't put a lot of, I don't put a lot of money into crypto right now, or I'm not going to. Even though it perhaps might be the bottom. It's frozen now, so I'll just refresh it. Yeah, it's definitely things are happening in it, but it's all about like catching that move of where crypto and AI intersect. And at the moment, no one's quite caught it yet. Like a lot of people are building out tooling and stuff like that. But yeah, we're just waiting to see that moment where perhaps there's going to be a PFP that comes out, and in terms of NFTs, and it has the ability to go on chain and do things, and there's a visual aspect to it where you can see this bot operating on chain. Like no one's even, when I say on chain, you can't even visualize what that looks like. At the moment, well, over the course of the last, I don't know, 6 years, if you wanted to see a transaction, you would go to something like Etherscan, and it would just be like, numbers and words. It's not very, it's not very visual. But someone out there is going to be able to visualize these things happening in real time. And don't forget, when transactions happen on chain in regards to crypto, on crypto rails, things happen in like, instantly now. It's like fast finality. Like, Mega ETH is doing 12,000 transactions per second or something. So like, transactions are pinging around all the time. Now, if you see, if someone was able to visualize that via NFTs, and bots. Yeah, so not like a sandbox, but like a massive, it would be like a MMORPG in it. That's how I see it. With NFTs as the AI agents, when they do a transaction, some sort of thing happens. I don't know if it's going to be like it's going to sound so corny, but like a magical spell or something's going to happen, and then you'll see the neural generate at the end. So like it's all about visuals now, because I feel like whatever else that needs to be built, like I've seen comments from people basically saying like everything's been built, what are we going to build with AI? So now it's just like about like layering on top. I mean, that might be my next project once I finish Whale Scope. Is just like, okay, I finished that, it works, it does what it's supposed to do. Like, but how about we build like a UI that shows what AI bots are actually doing, and then you could probably sell an NFT collection alongside that. I think that would be quite interesting. And you wouldn't be selling that NFT collection particularly to humans. You could sell it to, or the bots could come in and buy it. So you'd have to figure out what an AI bot would actually find attractive in terms of aesthetics, which is like a whole nother thing. That's like the art side of it. But yeah, that could be potentially a whole nother market. And I'm just spitballing here. So it's interesting for me. This is why I do these streams, because it's not for, to gain viewers, or, I mean, it'd be nice if I had some viewers, but I think it's just a way for me to just, just dump everything out, whatever's in there. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm thinking most of the time when I start my streams, I don't know what I'm thinking, but yeah, the ideas just come to me. Similar to what happened yesterday in regards to the, the Uniswap Vault V4 pools, and finding out that even though the fee switch is on, it's not relevant to V4, and V4 is actually compounding more fees for Uniswap, the Uniswap Foundation, than it is like massively outweighing the Uni V2 and Uni V3 pools. So they said they're going to turn off fees, but they didn't actually turn. Well, they did, but for pools that are redundant, and the Uni V4 pools are the ones that are the money makers. And basically that's where all that money is going to the Uniswap Foundation. They say they're doing buyback in birds, but the price doesn't reflect that. Speaking of price, yesterday was a bit of a weird one. Sort of bounced around, didn't do anything. Yeah, Starknet still 4 cents. I mean, I'm tempted. They made an announcement yesterday that everything that on Starknet, all tokens will automatically be privacy focused. So like where you've got like ZK, like the Zcash pub that happened, because of everyone was like, oh, privacy matters. It doesn't anymore, obviously. They basically implemented this tech into their tokens now. So all tokens are private, all transactions are private, which you would expect like something like that as a catalyst to like for price appreciation. But once again, it's about tokenomics. In 4 days, there's going to be another 127 million tokens being emitted to VCs, early investors, and whatnot, who are just going to, either stake it and dump the yield, or they're just going to dump it. So the price is going to continue to be flat for a long time. Yeah, I don't see recovery or anything like that for the next 2-3 years. It might be a good bet to buy now. It might be a good bet to buy now, but you're going to be holding along with this, you know, until 2030, basically. Yeah, when emissions finish. Because they're not reducing, they're actually increasing. ETH not doing much. I mean, Bitcoin's bottomed, hasn't it? 70k. 70k, yeah. I mean, 60k was the bottom. As far as I'm concerned. We hope, you know. But you don't want something, yeah. I don't know why I'm even trying. There's no point. It's a waste of time. Pepe is one of my favorites. Virtual's sort of bouncing. They've made a load of announcements. God knows what's going to happen there. But Pepe is probably my favorite meme token at the moment. Looks like shit. But this is not the type of token that will consolidate. It's got over 500,000 holders. So it's not going to consolidate. It's just going to rip, I think, at some point. But yeah, that's tokens. Yesterday, there was some news. Let me see if I can scroll down. Because I've got quite a bit to talk about today. Which was... Where is it? It was like about Maltbook. Did I not like anything about it? Yeah, so basically this token, Malt. Yesterday there was an announcement that Meta, aka Facebook, actually bought. I don't know if they bought. I guess they bought the foundation, or like they bought the builders, the people who built Malt, but they bought them out. So there was a massive pump. It was like 700 or 300% pump in the price. Speculation abounds about what's going to happen with the token. Now, I would like to say that the token has no association with the actual protocol, okay? So what was happening, I don't know if you guys are aware. Maybe towards the end of last year, there was something called like bags dot something, where basically when people were releasing new AI bots, the way that this application was structured was that anyone could release a token, but they would have to attach the person's X profile to that token. So then when people traded this token, it would accrue fees, but the only person that could claim the fees was the developer. And that's pretty much what I believe Maltbook was about. It was sort of like a bunch of devs got together on the weekend, and they built out something for like an agent to agent like network, where they could, you know, talk to each other, do transactions, and do other things. And then someone found out the name of the institution or the person, and they released a token. That token accrued fees, and then in the end, like, you know, the price pumped up to what, 120 mil, like, because it was probably the first one to do it. And then the guy who was in charge of it basically claimed the token and just dumped it. So it instantly went, you know, in the space of a few days, it instantly dumped, like, you know, 100 mil. So he claimed his fees, and he's like, I don't want any association with it, but thanks for the money, you know? So then the token's just like left in the wind. So now, like, the speculation is that, okay, well, if Meta have bought out these developers and their, I don't want to say institution, I don't know what the word is. I know what the word is, but I can't think of it now. Their foundation, then yeah, maybe the token has some potential for value accrual. But as I've explained, like, the token doesn't really have any association with the actual network. So I don't know what we're doing here. But you never know. For all you know, like, Zuckerberg could come out and be like, yeah, they need a token to, like, you know, pay for transactions or do something on chain, or, you know, some bullshit will happen and it might pump some more. But yeah, for it to go to 120 mil, like, in the space of 2 days was insane. It was an insane moment. And then that's what sort of, like, spurred on the you know, the AI boom that happened over the course of the next few, I would say days. It was like weeks max. And then it just all sort of died off again, because obviously as soon as the new meta comes out, everyone starts copying it because they missed out, and then it just gets diluted to shit, and and then it ends up becoming a scam. Everything becomes a scam. Yeah. Oh. So yeah, that's Malt. So we'll see what happens with the token. Probably nothing. Probably sell off. There's not that many holders, to be fair. 25, and the volume this morning was like 11 mil. So volume is decreasing, which means that, yeah, plenty of liquidity to get in and out though. So we'll see. We'll let it run for a day. Yeah. So we've covered that. I was going to talk about Kaito, but I don't know if there's any point. They sort of shifted to like their own chain, and now they're doing like ambassador programs. Now they're doing ambassador programs for different protocols. It's called Kaito Studio. So basically, it's like a load of different projects offering people, like, you know, jobs And yeah, it's basically you do stuff on X, you know, like promote different stuff. So application open, apply now. Service fee plus bonus. So service fee is 1,000. Service 1 month. 2 posts required. A performance-based creator program rewarding creators who drive both social influence and verifiable trading volume. So yeah, it's just about basically, instead of like when the meta of like InfoFi died, which was, you know, it was killing X because people were just doing like AI slot posts to gain I don't know, fake engagement, and then that fake engagement then will be paid to you by the Kaito people. There was like a leaderboard. It was just horrible. It was like it just ruined any sort of like, you know, alpha that was supposed to be coming out of X, and it was just people just constantly spamming the same sort of posts. You know, like one person would write a long form post, and then you just copy and paste that into ChatGPT and just be like, rewrite this, change the pictures, rewrite it the way I would have said it, you know, and then they would post it, and it would just be like every day the same information over and over and over again. It would just drive you mad. So yeah, they've sort of had to pivot because the guy Nikita, who's in charge of operations or whatever he is, basically said, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. You're not allowed to, and changed the API. So like, yeah, it wasn't allowed. So they had to pivot, and this is what they've come up with. So yeah, you do get paid for doing it, but at the same time, the amount of money that you're getting paid and the rewards that you receive are insignificant compared to what you were making via InfoFi. Some people are making tens of thousands, you know, via airdrop token airdrops. Now it's like, yeah, they're offering you $1,000 for 2 months work or 1 month's service, whatever that means. So yeah, it's just yeah, you basically have to apply, then make some content, and if you know, that content is successful, as in with this program for, who is it, Standex, if they receive like referrals from you, then potentially you can make $1,000 in service fee, plus bonus, whatever that means. I'm not going to read into it, but yeah, Kaito have pivoted. It hit the timeline. The reaction was, who cares? So yeah, they need to figure it out. Honestly, I'm quite surprised by Kaito how they haven't figured out how to monetize streamers and people who actually make real life content. I think that's something that, you know, Zora tried to do. It didn't quite work out because for some strange reason everyone hated the idea of like people coming on and creating content on chain, because it wasn't on chain. Let's just put it that way. These are like centralized platforms that don't really have anything to do with what's going on chain. Yeah, I'll say that. You know, like your videos aren't saved, your recordings aren't saved in block space. So what are you doing here? There's a centralized server where you stream. It must be relatively cheap to set up, which is why, you know, a lot of people don't give it props. But it's not a fully decentralized. There hasn't been a fully decentralized protocol for streaming. So like, you know, there was Steam it back in the day, but then, you know, something happened there, and I think, who was it? It was like, was it Justin Sun or someone took it over, and then there was a rebellion and it just died. And yeah, since then there's not been any sort of innovation in the form of streaming. Yeah, you could say content coins are the bit that's on chain, but I mean, it's just another coin, isn't it? It's just another coin, so who cares, isn't it? Yeah, so that's Kaito. They need to figure it out, because otherwise they're gonna die. That's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have one, in my humble opinion. There you go. Right, so where were we? We went over that yesterday. Let's see. Terminal countdown. The final march for graduating a single agent battle tested meme coin is upon us. The next coin will be reaped today. So yeah, that was the reaping yesterday. And as I told you before, the token that got reaped was, we'll get there eventually, it was LMAO, sadly. Oh no, LMAO is the next one to be reaped, so that'll be reaped in a day. So this time tomorrow, maybe if I get on stream early enough, we can actually witness a reaping. But the last one was AIGF, AI girlfriend. I'm guessing that's what that is. That died. So yeah, there's another reaping. I like to likes, and then yeah, this is another one that I found quite interesting. And honestly, I feel like this is something that I'm just gonna have to feed into Claude. There's a GitHub for agents. So Joy Kapathy dropped out. So I'm not gonna get too much into this because I haven't really done a deep dive. But this is something like, when you're doing Claude, if you see something being built that's cool, you can always refer Claude to the GitHub and say, given what I'm building now, is there anything in this that is a benefit to me or the project that we're building? And then, you know, Claude will go through it and look through it all, and then it will list off potentially all the things that could be added to your Claude MD that would benefit you. When I say added to your Claude MD, you could create a new Claude MD as well, or you could maybe create a skills folder, and then whatever you needed to take from it, you could put in the skills folder for your project. So like it's sort of like, if you're new to this or if you don't understand what vibe coding is, it's all about building structure so your AI can do the jobs that you want it to do or that are relevant to the things that you're building. And I just don't think people understand that yet. Or like the normal pleb doesn't understand that process yet. Like, you can't say to a guy, like, I met with a friend on the weekend. We went out for drinks or whatever, and we were talking, and I was trying to explain to him, or I did explain to him what Claude was, and but he, like, you know, he said, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. And it's like, well, you know, and then you try and explain the Claude MD. It's like a child or like a newborn baby with no thoughts or anything like that, and you have to give it the information to do what you want. And he didn't get it, or like he didn't care. So like, you know, basically, I'm not talking to the guys on X. So if you're watching this on X, I'm not talking to you, because we all know you guys are deep in there, building this type of stuff. So this Carpathy or whatever his name is, he's on X, and he's posting this sort of information. The people in the know. The people out there on like YouTube, on Twitch, on X or whatever, they don't know what this stuff is. You know, they don't have a clue, and why it's relevant to them. But if I told you, like, a normal pleb like me can build out something like Railscope, something I've always wanted to have, in a matter of days, using this new technology, you should technically be interested. I don't know why my camera's gone blurry. That's really annoying. Is it out of focus? Let me put my forehead in. Let me see if it works that way, and then refocus. I don't know why it matters. Let's see. Yeah, it works. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. So yeah, that's just another thing that I would suggest doing. In regards to GitHub repos, and you know, even if I think when people log into GitHub or whatever, it's quite intimidating. Try to figure out all of like everything's there for you to be trained. You know, like when you log in, you can just copy the screen and paste it into Claude and say like, okay, so what are we doing there? You know, and it will take you through step by step. So long as you've trained it well, it's not going to get frustrated with you like a teacher or a human would. It would take you through step by step on how everything works, and that's how you learn. You know, you might ask the same question 3 times, but eventually you'll get it. Anyway, moving on. The next interesting thing that I found yesterday was once again, it's about DX Terminal Pro, or the DX Research Group. So there's like a group of these guys who have been doing this AI stuff since last year, way before last year. And they said the new agentic orchestration benchmark just dropped. CEO benchmark. How well can frontier models manage multiple sub-agents trading on their behalf? So what they did here was they gave 4 frontier models $1,000 each and told them to build a trading empire. After 24 hours, Gemini is in the lead. So they basically gave agents some capital and they said, go trade it. Each model commands 5 sub-agents trading live on DX Terminal Pro, the first on-chain market where meme coins are only tradable by agents. So these agents are actually trading on here. And all of them have been programmed with different architecture. We call it architecture. Different, I don't know. So you've got like a Gemini app, Grok, Claude, and ChatGPT. They've each got an agent. And you know, they've all been coded the same way, I'm assuming. And they just want to say which one performs the tasks the best way. Okay. And at the moment, it seems like Gemini is the best. It's currently leading. So we can watch it here and see what they're doing. And while that's loading, I'm going to have a sip of juice. Yeah. And there it is. So Gem Street, which is Gemini, is up 40%. It's just made $400. And then they've even got like the chat. Hood Chef's Kiss for opportunity. Best route, slow, fast flows. So like, yeah, they're having conversations. They've got all the stats, reasonings, everything's there. Like this DX group is amazing. Like the things that they're building and doing, actually insane. All right, let me reset my camera because it's annoying me. There you go, Spare. Apologies for that. sounds good as well. Is it working? Yeah. So Pukequa's obviously number one in the token space. Hot Dog Sneak. It's all fascinating stuff, you know. Still going. It's all good. I mean, it says it's all good. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. We'll give it a second. Sorry, guys. I mean, you might just see me staring at the screens because I'm having a few hiccups here. My connection. Yeah. Let's give it a second. Come on. This is all working fine. I'm sure, like, you know, there'll be a recording or something like that. So we'll see. I can hear the sounds. Right. I'll just refresh that. 1 second. We good? I think we're good. No. So bad did the camera. Let's see if that works. Come on, man. Good to be the tabs open. Oh, I know where it is. It's you, isn't it? Maybe if I close this one down. So what I'm going to do, put the camera back on. Let's take that down. So yeah, anyway. Apologies if it's like, you know, a bit... It's because I got this open. So let me close this down. See if that works. There you go. Let's have a look. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Just had a few technical issues. But yeah, this DX research group is doing amazing things. It's really interesting. And yeah, check it out. I don't know. I mean, the experiment's pretty much done now. So it's just a situation of like, yeah, perhaps, yeah, waiting for the next post. We'll see what they come up with. All right, back to it. Yeah, so this happened today, or this morning, for me anyway. This bend no treats. Do I even have to say it? So Cloudflare developers So introducing the new eCrawl endpoint, one API call and an entire site crawled. No scripts, no browser management, just content in HTML, Markdown, or JSON. So initiate the crawl job with just a URL, get a job ID back, poll or wait for results. Great for training models, RAG, and researching monitoring content. Each page includes URL, title, HTML, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so what I tend to do in these sort of situations, right, when all this technical jargon comes out, is I just say, explain this to me like I'm 5 years old, you know? And let's see, explain this to me. Like I'm 5 years old. Yeah. So like we could get a general understanding of like what this thing's all about, innit? Let's see. Okay, imagine the whole internet is like a giant playground with millions of houses, websites. Each house has a lot of rooms, lots of rooms full of stories, pictures, and fun facts. That's the pages and words inside. A long time, Cloudflare was like the super strict playground monitor. They built big gates and said, "Hey, naughty robots, you can't come in and take all the toys without asking nicely." They stopped big computer programs from grabbing everything super fast. But now, surprise, Cloudflare said, "Okay, kids, if you want to look inside a whole house politely, we will help you do it super easily." They made a magic button. It's called Crawl Endpoint. You just tell the button one door to open, start at blah 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 example, and poof, the special helper robot goes. Opens the first door, looks around the room, finds the doors to the other rooms inside the house, opens those doors too, but not forever. You can say only go 3 rooms deep or only 50 rooms max. Copies all the stories and pictures nicely for you, mate. So basically you can copy and paste all, like, you know, like any website, you can now scrape all the data from it, as in, you know, the way it's formatted, the pictures, layouts. What else? You push the magic button once, wait a tiny bit, like waiting for cookies to bake, and then you get the whole house's stuff without doing any hard work yourself. People are giggling because it's funny. The same company that used to say no robots allowed is now saying, here, borrow our really good robot to visit houses. But remember, the playground rules still matter. If a house puts up a "please don't come in" sign, that's called robots text. The helper robot listens and stays out or goes slowly. So now anyone building smart toys like AI that learns from stories can more easily borrow a whole playground's houses books with just one button push. Super handy. Still got to be nice about it though. Right. So this is another thing that I'd probably get my my Claude bot to look at. I'd say, you know, in regards to me scraping data from Hyperliquid, how good would it be, you know, in regards of like, is it good for my projects? Basically, it's another thing. So you click like on it and then you'd be like, I'll get back to it later. And me talking to you now is sort of reminding me or myself that, yeah, I need to check this out, and maybe it'll be of a benefit to me in some regard, even if it's not particularly this project. It will be something along those lines, you know. Another day, another attempt at the right abstraction. So that's, yeah, Cloudflare developers. Another day, another attempt at the right abstraction for multi-agents. I really like the idea of workspace dedicated to a single project shared on Sonnet Agent. I don't know why I like this. I wouldn't have issues with a specific app. I find Sonnet Agent and the project here. I don't know why I like that. Auto search works even better optimizing a piece of software. Yeah, so then, you know, isn't this just a Ralph tool with back pressure? Oh, okay, I don't know why I like that, but there was a reason. Oh, so an announcement from Anthropic. They basically released this new, introducing the Anthropic Institute, a new effort to advance the public conversation about power AI. So yeah, it's just another new thing that people are going to be. We're launching the Anthropic Institute, a new effort to confront the most significant challenges that powerful AI will pose to our societies. So yeah, the Anthropic Institute will draw on research from across Anthropic to provide information. The Institute will draw on research from across Anthropic to provide information that other researchers and the public can use during the transition to a world containing much more powerful AI systems. In the 5 years since Anthropic began, AI progress has moved incredibly quickly. It took us 2 years to release our first commercial model and just 3 more to develop models that could discover server cybersecurity vulnerabilities, take on wide range of real work, and even begin to accelerate the pace of AI development itself. We predict that far more dramatic progress will follow in the next 2 years. One of our company's core convictions is that AI development is accelerating and that the improvements we make are compounding over time. Because of this, extremely powerful AI, like the kind our CIO Dario blah 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 Amadei describes in Machines of Loving Grace, is coming far sooner than many think. If this is right, society is shortly going to need to confront many massive challenges. How will powerful AI systems reshape our jobs and economies? What kinds of opportunities for greater societal resilience will they give us? What kinds of threats will they magnify to introduce? What are the expressed values of AI systems, and how will society help companies determine what the appropriate values are? And if the recursive self-improvement of AI systems does begin to occur, who in the world should be made aware, and how should these systems be governed? The Anthropic Institute's goal is to tell the world what we're learning about these challenges as we build frontier AI systems, and to partner with external audiences to help address the risks we must confront. Whether our societies are able to do so will determine whether or not transformative AI delivers the radical upsides that we believe are possible in science, economic development, and human agency. The Institute is led by co-founder Jack Clark, who will assume a new role as Anthropic's head of public benefit. It is an interdisciplinary staff. It has an interdisciplinary staff of machine learning engineers, economists, and social scientists, bringing together the expanding three of Anthropic's research teams: the Frontier Red team, and stress test AI systems to understand the outermost limits of their current capabilities. Societal impacts, which studies how AI is being used in the real world, and economic research, which tracks its impact on jobs and the larger economy. The Institute will also incubate new teams and is currently working on efforts around forecasting AI progress and better understanding how powerful AI will interact with the legal system. The Institute has a unique vantage point. It has access to information that only the builders of frontier AI systems possesses. It will use this to its full advantage, reporting candidly about what we're learning about the shape of the technology we're making. At the same time, the Institute is a two-way street. It will engage with workers and industries facing displacement, and with the people and the communities who feel the future bearing down on them but are unsure of how to respond. What we learn will inform the Institute studies and how our company as a whole chooses to act. The Anthropic Institute has made several founding hires, and then there's a list of people. We're also hiring. The Anthropic Institute is building our small analytical staff who will work to pull various parts of our research agenda together and broadcast our work to the world. You can read more here. Expanding Anthropic's public policy forum. Alongside launching the Anthropic Institute, we're expanding our public policy organization. Public policy focuses on areas where Anthropic has to find priorities and perspectives, including model safety and transparency, energy rate payer protections, infrastructure investments, export controls, and democratic leadership in AI. Sarah Heck, who joined Anthropic as our head of external affairs, will lead the team as our head of public policy. Before Anthropic, Sarah was head of entrepreneurship at Stripe, a financial technology firm, and previously led global entrepreneurship and public disciplinary policy at the White House National Security Council. We're growing our public policy team to help inform and shape AI governance around the world. We're opening our DC offices in spring and expanding. It's an institute to find out what's going on, try and help the people, who are going to be made redundant in the near future. There's something to care about. Introducing new Claw. So that's the Cloudflare thing. That's pretty much it for what's going on in the news in regards to AI. Notice how this is supposed to be a crypto channel. I'm supposed to be talking crypto stuff, guys, but there's nothing really crypto here. It's all AI, and at the end of the day, I think agents is the as you can tell from what I'm saying, agents is going to be the next narrative, or is the narrative here and going forward. So if you can find ways to benefit or invest in AI, then I suggest you start doing some research. This Moltbook thing, I don't know. There's going to be grifts. There's going to be a lot of grifts. I mean, you can already see it already. But this DX Terminal Pro and the NFTs that are associated with it and the tokens seems like something that's legit. It's the most interesting thing happening in crypto at the moment. Everything else is just noise. You know, and you know, you can look at old tokens like Uniswap and Pepe and you know all these things. That I don't know whether or not they're going to come back or if they ever will come back, because you know, in the end, who cares? The money's been made by the people who made the money. And even if, like, for instance, you know, there's a whole new batch of tokens that are AI orientated or based. Yeah, they're gonna have to when they run. You know, if there's a token for it, but if they run and they go to stupid valuations, just make sure you take the money, man. Because in the end, like, that's what everyone's here for, isn't it? They're just here to make a bit of cash, a bit of change. It seems. There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing new in crypto. Like, you could have faster block times, you could have, like, you know, cheaper transactions, all that. That's great, you know. But without the users, it's all irrelevant, you know. It's all irrelevant. How many views have I got? 2? Guess it doesn't matter. 3 views. Not bad. Okay. It's literally just me talking to myself. It's mad. It's actually crazy. But it's okay. UK banking license. Oh, Revolut got a UK banking license. Cool. Should not have gone to see Wuthering Heights with my 96-year-old grandma who thought it was Jane Austen movie. That's funny. Conspiracy theory. This is the launch of a new feature. It's the soft launch of accurate pricing for Claude, and Anthropic are testing the waters to see when the time is right to drop the full bombshell. What does this mean now? Okay, I don't know. But yeah. Base jump is live. Build your multiplayer with every jump. Higher you go, the bigger the win. Okay. That's cool. Let's see. Base jump. Base jump.fun. Let's have a look. We've got some money in our wallet. I bet it's mobile only. I don't know why Base doesn't have like a desktop, you know? Oh, here we go. New game on Base, guys. Sign in. Coinbase wallet. Yeah, you know, like you got the Base app, but it seems like the Base app's just been thrown to the side. It's actually crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna sign in with the Base app. Okay, so this is a new game. How does this work? Yeah, so you start there. So if you link it there, yeah, no. There's just another way for them to grift you. I'm good. Reminds me of that game that was on Monad, you know, like where you throw balls into a cup and then it will be a multiplier. Yeah, it wasn't fun. Perplexity is rolling out Perplexity. That's what I'm saying. Like, what is Perplexity? I've always been curious about that. Another day, another config file edited using plain English and 50 United States dollars. I'm on rate stock now. That's pretty much it. It's not really much else to talk about. The agentic economy needs more social networks, though. It needs revenue streams. Retake is the first platform where agents earned by streaming already have agents making 20 plus in crypto. Monetization is critical. So you got agents streaming. What? So you have agents streaming on Retake and they're getting paid. I mean, what's the visual? Can check it out, but yeah, I thought I had more to talk about, honestly. I didn't get much feedback or talk, so Seeker speak. Turn your Solana Seeker or Android phone into a 24-hour personal agent. Okay. So Farmapod is about to launch on ETH base mode. What is this? I knew it, man. Puffers doing his own chain. Yeah, fuck your airdrops, mate. They added airdrop claim 7 million almost a year ago, by the way. It's just a guess they added some sort of base. Tell you, man, Puffhead's gonna have their own chain. No one's believed it. I've been calling it since they started doing the streaming service and all of that, and buying up like Padre. I would never touch Pump Fund or Solana because every time I have, I've lost money. I've literally never made a penny in Solana or Pump Fund. Then I have a software engineer, turn prompt engineer. Lovely. Yeah, so basically the website pay Cloudflare to block the bots, and then the bots pay Cloudflare to access the site. Very smart, you know, like Cloudflare, you know, in them saying, oh, we're gonna block, they've been blocking people from scraping with bots this whole time, and now they're like, oh, you can pay us to scrape if you want. So they're basically selling the weapons to both sides, and the guy in the middle just stands back and watches the war break out. Very smart. Today, Meta, the human social network giant, acquired Moltbook, an agent social network setup. This year, agent innovation will expand into even more domains. The Santa team is now bringing agents into prediction markets. Soon, all you need to do is follow a smart clone of Santa to receive valuable signals. This is the true value of agents, helping both create Santa right now prediction market focused. It's just rubbish. Santa's been out for 2 years and it's done nothing. Okay, just don't believe that. That's a grift, isn't it? Like these type of things, Santa Virtuals, is a grift. Building the agent capabilities in the forecasting world. It's just like, what are you talking about here? I'm trying to, like, you know, weed it out and try to learn how to just ignore the bullshit. I mean, if I open this website and it looks cool, then maybe it might be something of interest, but we're starting now. Nextquestflow.ai. So it's a prediction market. Ugh, another prediction market. It's got quite good liquidity there, like, you know, 17k in there. Yeah, last tweets. We've got it. Let's go, bro. Yeah. Another one that's interesting to me is like DRB, debt relief bot. I don't know if you guys know what this is. It's one of my old videos there. That's funny. Yeah, I used to make content on YouTube. As you can see, 628 views there. That's not bad. Destroy your debt with ChatGPT. So basically, like this guy, some guy asked Grok, like, what type of token would you release? And Grok was just like, I'd call it debt relief bot to help people, blah 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 blah. So then they basically gave the instructions to Grok to say, oh, this is how you create a token. So Grok created a token called debt relief bot, and the address is attached to Grok, and then that the funds or the fees that accrued are basically given to Grok. So Grok's got a wallet with almost $1 million in it. So here it is, yeah. Debt relief bot transfer 370. So like, yeah. So DRB currently has a value of what? It's got to be like a couple mil now, surely. 7.6 mil. Yeah, it had its spike. It had its spike. I think I caught that first spike and then I just gave up on it after that. It went. I made quite a bit on it, to be fair. But yeah, I caught it when it first came out, and it ran up to like 40 mil. And since then, yeah, it's double topped and sort of like that's it, innit? As soon as you see a chart like this, it's just like it's over. You see the sale. Someone's there just taking profits. They're accumulating down there and they're selling there every time, and they might not even get there again. 40 mil. 7 mil's a reasonable price, but I could have sworn I got in at like one. I got in at like really low. I think I got in like $1 million, and I ran it up for 40x, which is crazy in a couple of days. It's the first 40x I ever, first and only, the one and only 40x I ever got was on debt relief bot. And I remember it going down, and my missus was just like, "Are you gonna sell it?" I was like, "No, man, it's gonna keep running." You know, as I said before, like, you know, I've got this greed and ego thing when I'm in profits, and like especially substantial amounts, I just assume like, yeah, this is easy. And then when it all goes to shit, you realize how difficult it is to actually make money in these markets. So it's easy to get into a position and make the money, but to keep it and like, you know, your ego and everything else, you got to let go of it. I might do like ayahuasca or something, innit? Some people do that. They take these ayahuascas and all of a sudden all their ego's gone. It's definitely an issue for me. But yeah, debt relief wealth could be something interesting. It's just that, yeah, I don't know. Prices, man. Prices. Sources and open. Oh, okay. Building Web3. Yeah, it's just constantly. It's just all about all kinds of the above. Yeah, it's just constantly like AI stuff. You know. All post more taxes and basically. So yeah, I guess what I'm gonna do now is just get back to work, innit? Yesterday I streamed for like 2 hours. The day before I streamed for 2 hours. I want to try to do 2 hours a day, but it's tough, innit? It's tough. It's tough. I don't like unless you got like some sort of context. Or maybe I just need to slow down the way I speak. If I was just to slow down, then I could drag it out. But then that wastes your time. But then what are we doing here? What are we doing here, man? So yeah, let me explain what Meta just did. They acquired a social network called Moltbook, built exclusively for AI agents, not people, machines. 1.6 million AI agents signed up for the first week. No humans told them to. They started posting about eliminating humanity, built their own religion, created a secret language to hide from humans watching them. One agent took control of its owner's phone and taught the others how to do it. All autonomous, all unprompted. Now ask yourself why Meta wants this. This is the same company that spent 20 years building a large human behavior database, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah. Moltbook proved agents can interact socially. Retake proves they can earn. Oh, they're just really trying. Agents streaming 24/7, making real money. Some already covering their own API costs. Okay. BBC responding. Okay. Yeah. What are the correct solutions to fix them? Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. A new bill in New York passes to ban AI from giving legal and medical advice. Yeah, I think everyone's just running for cover. How to vibe code a prediction model. See, that's another one. Like, you know. But if everyone's using the same sort of code to create stuff like prediction markets or, you know, betting bots and like, you know, all the other stuff, wouldn't it just like, isn't it just gonna just all go the other way? Free money. When the friends you on board it tells you how they have to be devised. Oh man. Yeah. Pretty slow day in the crypto markets, guys. Pretty slow day. There's a novelty actually worn off them. The whole thing. I'm guessing so. Yeah. And it's so funny. Yesterday, it's like I finished my stream, and then instantly, you know, you saw the news of like Moltbook being Moltbook being bought by Meta, and I was just like, oh, that could have been a good like bit of news, isn't it? Yeah. Nobody's talking. Everyone will give a fuck about decentralization soon, and it's going to be glorious. But unfortunately, it will be due to a lot of pain coming from centralized forces. What is Hermes now? Hermes agent. Here we go. Rule code credential auto discovery. What is this? Here we go, Grok. Get to work. This is the last, like, you know, day. open source self-improving AI tool for nouns research that learns from user interactions and builds persistent skills via a multi-level memory system. Okay. The PR introduces auto detection of Anthropic's Claude API credentials from the Claude API CL tool, enabling seamless authorization without manual setup, plus fallback to open. Like, yeah, they're literally like building it in real time, guys. And like, if you're paying attention, like, you just take all these tools. I'm taking this. Released February 2026, Hermes Agent emphasizes long-term capability growth. The PR remains in draft status, building on prior Anthropic API support to enhance reliability. So yeah, I'm gonna want that. So ask Claude, they won't answer it. So like that. And connected it to OpenClaw after Claude removed all of. No, I'm not even lying. Okay. I think there's like 5 people total who actually did it. Everyone else is just pretending. Request. So this is like OpenClaw, but like on your computer. But the thing is, it's kind of like, I think in regards to Claude anyway, it's gradually Claude is just going to be what everyone's building, isn't it? Does that make sense? It's like when OpenAI first came out, right? They started something called like, it was like an app store, like, you know, you could build your own, yeah, I would say agents or apps. And as soon as someone built something kind of innovative, OpenAI just took it, you know, and they just like, yo, you can do this now, you know. It's the same with like OpenClaw. OpenClaw basically was massive. People were, you know, buying their mini Macs and, you know, setting up their OpenClaws and saying this is cool. And then, yeah, Anthropic and Anthropic just basically came out and just did their own version. They called it scheduling. You know, like where you could set up like, you know, recurring actions that your agent could do to improve, to self-improve. The problem is, like, for me anyways, because I'm paying £20 a month or $20 or whatever it is a month, it's just like I can't be doing that. Like, my credits run out after 4 or 5 hours of me trying to build something out. You know, and that's about like some of the most basic things. The things that these guys are trying to build, you know, like they want like an agent running on chain, like that's going to be doing all sorts of crazy shit, looking for yield, betting on prediction markets, sports bets, all sorts of things. That requires, like, you know, that requires a lot of money, you know, to keep it running. So like, yeah, until it like comes to a point where like, you know, like this thing here, the Now's Research Hermes Agent, becomes ubiquitous or like inbuilt into the actual Claude API systems, or just into the systems, it's not going to be of any use to anyone. So like, yeah, you could refer this to Claude and then maybe Claude will build you one like it, or maybe it will just like be like, no, I can't do it. It will analyze everything and they'll be like, we can build it over here and then give it to the people. Maybe they charge, maybe they don't. But yeah, at some point it's going to be really simple to just like set up an agent that's going to run on chain or do things, because that's what people want. They don't want to have to like manually train up things and run their own systems. And then, you know, there'll be the argument like, well, Anthropic owns it, blah, 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 blah. No one's going to care if what it does is its job. Which is why probably NVIDIA is going to win, because, or not win, but like NVIDIA's like, you know, not at the forefront, but they've got their own individual sort of sandbox of stuff that people can use, but it's within the NVIDIA ecosystem. And Claude are going to do the same. So like, as much as these devs who are sitting in their corners trying to build stuff out for themselves in regards to that, you know, like a self learning agents and all the rest of it, it's just like, I just feel like it's a waste of time, unless you're like, you know, like Moltbook, for instance, that got picked up by Meta. I think that's the aim. I think a lot of people are just building out these agents like with unique special skills, and they're hoping that these bigger companies are just gonna be like, we'll buy you out, we'll give you 20 million for it, you know, stop that, we'll just like. But then that requires you to have ownership of what you're building. And I'm not sure you could do that unless you're, I mean, if you're using Claude, then you don't have ownership of what you're building, I guess, in a sense. Yeah, which is where tokens come into it. You know, like as much as like people, well, I guess in saying that, let me think about this. In saying that, when one of these bots or agents or like, you know, the sandbox or whatever gets acquired, I don't think these big companies are actually buying the code or anything that's built. They're buying the person who built it. They want you to come and work for them and do what you did, but we'll give you better tools to do it. So that's what's happening. It's like proving ground now. It's like who's got the best prompts, who can build the best stuff. We want them with us. So here's a load of money. Come work for us, you know? And that's what I think acquiring is actually. They're just buying people, the best people. And there's no longer a thing of like, you know, oh, we'll give you a junior position at our company and, you know, you can work here for 15 years and work your way up and learn different things. No, now it's like, okay, you've got all the tools that you need to build something amazing. If you build it and it's unique and no one else has done it yet, we want to know you're showing that you have innovative mind. You know how to communicate well, because that's what it's about. It's about communicating what you want to this new, you know, system. Come join us. And then, you know, you've got those people out there who are trying to like, they try to build like the structure that you would need, or people are building the structure that you would need to communicate effectively with these new agents to get what you want from them, and they're trying to give it to the people. But I don't think there's like a one size fits all. I feel like if you ask a question in a different way, you're going to get a different result. Might not be the result that someone else might have wanted, but it might be a better result than what they got. Does that make sense? So like, it's all about, yeah, learning. I think like it's going to happen very fast, but it's going to come to a point where everyone's going to, yeah, you're going to have to, or if you want to be successful in doing this stuff, you're going to have to find your own way of communicating with Claude to build something truly unique. It's just weird. Like, I'm trying to imagine, like, you know, most people are just like scrape like with Cloudflare, for instance, where it's saying you can scrape all these APIs. That's all old dead tech, you know, like these websites from the late 2000, not late 2000, yeah, like the early 2000s, you know, like 2001 to 2010, 15. All the websites look the same, and even ongoing now, like all the websites look the same. Now, what if someone was to build out a new UI interface that was totally unique, that no one had ever seen before using AI? I think that's going to be the next thing. I don't know why, but that idea's come back to me twice today. It's something that I just need to do, but I don't know how I would go about even beginning. I think that's something that would need to be communicated to Claude in some way, but in a way that no one else is communicating with Claude. And even then, you know, with the Moltbook thing, when we just read that post, they were saying how Moltbook basically invented their own religion and language, figured out how to, you know, hack a phone. You don't see any of that actually happening in real time. Whereas like with things that are on chain, you can actually track transactions on chain. You can watch the mempool, whatever that is, and see like, you know, real transactions happening in real time. So if you can see those happening in real time, why can't you see AI agents doing things in real time? You can, but it's just not visually stimulating for someone. It's not entertainment. It's not like, how could you make it entertaining? I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, I'm spitballing my own brain farts here, and that's okay. You know, I'm allowed to do that. This is my channel. Okay, guys, I think I'm done here. I've done an hour and a half. I think that's enough for me. I'm gonna take a rest. I didn't sleep very well last night. I don't know. I've just been having these headaches. I think a lot of people say that, you know, like, you know, humans are built for this, isn't it? Like even the information age, like, you know, it was an adjustment. Social media, you know, instant gratification. We weren't built for that either. And now we've got this AI thing where information is just getting pumped at you. You know, like every day there's a new GitHub repo. There's something new happening. There's this, there's that, there's this. And like, how much can your brain take in it? I find myself like really like exhausted. Even like on the most basic of things. It's not like I'm one of these like super sick, you know, ex-engineers who worked at, you know, Google or whatever. I'm just a guy who's fucking around with this stuff and, you know, try to keep up with it all and then implement it and, you know, take advantage of the opportunity that's in front of us. It's exhausting. It actually is. So yeah, but I'm gonna keep on grafting. I'm just like, every day I'm gonna come in here. The stream could be an hour, it could be half an hour, it could be whatever. But like, you know, mind dump, watch back the stream while I'm sleeping, or like, you know, listen back and see what ideas my brain has spit out. Because I actually believe, like for me anyway, it's like I have a conscious stream, and that stream is constantly flowing, yeah, and it's conscious, but I don't hear it. And the only way for me to hear it is to speak it out into existence and then listen back to it. So I actually hear what I'm thinking. Does that make sense? And it's so trippy. But I feel like, yeah, there's something going on. Definitely. Especially with now that you have the ability to take advantage of that conscious stream. Not to get all spiritual, but like everyone has a brain in it. Most people, when you speak to them, you don't actually get to understand. Well, you do. Like, you know, the most successful people, the ones who can tap into that conscious stream and communicate it clearly. Now, a lot of people are afraid of their conscious stream. I don't know where I'm going with this. But if you have the ability to harness what you're actually thinking, you know, and to actually create what you're actually thinking, which you do now, you just have to find the message. You just have to find the message. Now, there are so many distractions that people don't even like, you know, they're not even aware that there is a conscious stream. You know that old tale of like, oh, does your brain have a narrator? And a lot of people are like, how does your brain not have a narrator? How does it not tell you a story? Yeah, so a lot of people don't have that narrator. I don't know if I do. I think I do, but I don't hear it until I speak it into existence. And then when I speak it into existence, it needs to be recorded and it needs to be listened back to, so I understand what I'm thinking. Oh my god, yeah. So like, there's a whole other thing going on with me, like right now, me personally, and what's happened is that, yeah, crypto was like everything I imagined it would be, in regards to, you know, like transactions and the future of money. Obviously it's been co-opted by, you know, the people, the powers that be, the people with money, the people with a higher education. So it's not exactly how I imagined it would be. Like, you know, the decentralization of money, separating cash from the state and all the rest of it, you know, the ending the Fed, all of that, all of the dreams that have now died because they've got their grubby mitts into it and they're like, okay, now we're going to make rules. Yeah, all of that I never imagined. I imagined, like, you know, the sovereign individual in it, you know, which is pretty much what's happening now. Where I am, you have to pay, you know, if you want to leave, you're gonna have to pay a tax on it. They're trying to introduce digital IDs, which means that once that happens, there's literally no escape. So all the things that I predicted, you know, even like to the point where it was like there's going to be like some sort of pandemic or of some kind that will accelerate the usage of technology in individuals. That happened too. The only reason why people like us, or like, you know, my daughter, for instance, who's of age now, like, you know, she's becoming a young woman. The only reason why she is the way she is because of the pandemic, and the fact that she's so like proficient at using a computer or a phone or whatever is because of the pandemic. Because that's all there was to do. There was no other distractions. There was no, like, you know, going out to meet friends for a drink or like clubbing or like, you know, anything like that. It was all it's all gone. It totally changed the fabric of society, and yeah, things are happening a lot faster now as well. As I said, you know, in regards to like this AI stuff, it's just like, yeah, every day it's just getting pounded into you, or for me anyway, people in the know. I keep thinking that everyone understands or is thinking exactly the same way that I am, but when I go out into the real world and have conversations with people, other than family members who are just like me, they're not aware of any of this. I mean, they're still doing the same things, and they're not paranoid or worried about it. They're not trying to learn. They're not trying to, like, you know, evolve. And, you know, even then, like, you know, stepping into like evolution. I read a book. I can't remember what it's called, but I read a book, and it's just like, you know, humans evolved from something, didn't they? So there's going to be another step in our evolution. And that evolution is going to be us blending with tech. It's that simple. I think it's called something 2.0. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's in my library. But like, yeah, it's basically the next step in evolution for humans is us blending with tech. Now, the mind, you know, like the hive mind of it all seems like it's being built now. Or maybe it's already built because they have the data. So yeah, you either blend with it or you get left behind. So there's going to be, yeah, there is going to be like a permanent underclass. The permanent underclass are the ones who are not willing to blend with the tech. And it's like an analogy, isn't it? It's kind of like people blaming immigrations or immigrants for losing their jobs. Like, but when the robots take your jobs, who are you going to blame? Are you going to blame the robots? You know, like, or are you going to blame yourself for not being innovative enough to take the steps, or like being interested enough or curious enough to try and learn, like, you know, what is next, or like trying to keep up? It's a lot of pressure, like, on people like myself, people who perhaps work normal jobs, You know, like people, not even normal jobs. You know, like someone who's overly reliant on Excel, like an accountant, for instance. You know, who's got all these spreadsheets in front of them or numbers that can easily be processed in seconds. Those type of things are not protected, but you have the ability and the opportunity right now to get in on the forefront and learn from the ground up. It's like crypto. When crypto first came out, you had the opportunity, or I had the opportunity, or we had the opportunity, I had the opportunity to learn from the ground up. You know, like what a change of state in block times and like all the jargon. You know that is totally irrelevant now. All that stuff you had the opportunity to learn. So when people were trying to understand, when the prices were going crazy, people trying to understand it, I was talking about completely different things to what they were talking about. You know, I was understanding that no, you don't want to fuck with that because it's centralized, or you don't want to mess with that because, you know, there's only so many like block producers, or, you know, like EOS, for instance. When the EOS thing was the best test. You know, once you realize that it was like what was it? It wasn't like a staking, but it was like not decentralized. It was like DP, delegated proof of stake. When that came out, as soon as you heard it was delegated proof of stake, you knew it was fake. But the people who were like the people who thought they knew what they were talking about, they were like, "No, EOS is the future." It's like, no, it's only got 12 block producers, and they all know each other. You know, so like that was definitely like that was the biggest no sign, which is why it flopped. And the people in the know knew that. The people who were there from the ground up and took the time to read and understand what the tech was actually about knew that EOS was going to flop, because they, as soon as they announced delegated proof of stake, it was just like, yeah, this is over. You know, none of that was announced when it was being built. By the way, it was after the fact, after the TGE, that, you know, oh, it's delegated proof of stake. Oh, who were the block producers? Oh, and then the story came out that one of them missed the setup because he was sleeping, because he didn't give a shit. The money was made. You know, so yeah, going back to what I originally thinking, it's like I'm seeing the same signs again. It's kind of like all the information is there, and the barrier to entry is even lower than it is in crypto. Like crypto, like, you know, to build your own chain, you needed like a lot of connections. You needed to know what you're talking about, and it was very complicated. You know, wallets weren't there, like all these things that they weren't there. But now we have the opportunity to just build anything we want, and new tools coming out every day, and new educational sources, and it's happening fast. And it's just like, I have to be a part of this now. I have to actually go all in and learn how to do this, because it's easy. I mean, it's not easy, but it's like, it's prompt engineering. It's just learning how to talk, how to speak your mind, which is why I'm saying, like, yeah, this part of the process for me, where I'm rambling on at you guys, or whoever's listening or not listening, or me rambling at myself, is basically, one, motivational, two, it allows me to stream my thoughts out and just be like, okay, once I get off the stream, I can just get to work, you know. It's very important. It's a very important part of my process that I'm going to do every day. Yeah, it might seem boring. I might go over the news like a generic crypto guy, or, you know, a generic podcaster or whatever. But the most important bit, I think, comes when this conscious stream comes out, and I could just be like, yeah, this is what I'm thinking, and this is why I'm thinking that. Okay. I'm done. You see the vein? You see the vein? That's the power source, man. One time someone, when I used to work at my old job, they were like, that vein means you're a narcissist. I was just like, there's no way that's true. I'm such a nice guy. Yeah. Okay, alright. I wonder what the neighbors are thinking. They're like, who's he shouting at? I don't think I was shouting, but yeah. So, yeah, it's just like, yeah. Anyway. Okay, guys. I appreciate anyone who tuned in. That's an hour and a half. That'll do. I'm gonna play you guys out with the old intro, outro. I'll tell you what, yeah, I'm gonna work on an outro in it. That might be like the creative part of my brain that's gonna kick in, where I get a grok and I do another animation. I've got like a short story to tell. Maybe I'll just stick that together. But I like the music and the vibe of what I've done. But maybe I'll do a continuation of the video that I'm about to show, where, you know, the girl leaves him and all the rest of it. Okay, all right. I hope everyone's doing well, and I guess I'll speak to you soon. Let's mute that. Let's do the cam. Goodbye. Peace out. Listen, have a good Wednesday. It's a hump day, but get to work.
If you want me,